This is a part of my story that's hard to share, but it's a big piece of who I am. After my life changed overnight, I had to find a way to keep going, even when it felt like the world barely noticed. Here's what those first few days looked like, and how they shaped me. When we came back from the police station, it was already afternoon. I remember it clearly. My two sisters and I, standing there numb, trying to figure out what to do next. Both of my sisters are older than me. At the time, my oldest sister was in university, while my middle sister and I were still in high school. After everything that happened, my middle sister decided to go back to school. She didn't want to stay at home. The silence, the memories, it was too much. Being around her friends felt like a way to breathe again, even if just for a little while. I, on the other hand, stayed home. I had an exam that day in Parisi class, specifically in swimming. Swimming had always been hard for me because of my hemiparesis, a weakness on the right side of my body. Every swimming lesson was a reminder that my body didn't move the way other kids' bodies did. I'd never missed school in my life before, so when they said I could stay home it felt strange, like even the rules I had always counted on were suddenly different. The idea of showing up at school, struggling to swim in front of everyone, pretending I was okay, it was just too much. My hemiparesis had made physical activities frustrating and isolating for as long as I could remember. It had fueled my social anxiety from a young age. That day, the idea of being seen, being vulnerable, felt unbearable. We were so scared that we dragged a double mattress into the living room, as far away from our parents' bedroom as we could get. It was like trying to build a little island of safety inside a house that didn't feel like home anymore. I played games to try to numb my thoughts, clinging to anything that made time pass faster. When school ended, one of my friends came online and asked why I hadn't been at school. I told him the truth, that my father had killed my mother. His response was, "Ah, I guess you're an orphan now," in a joking tone. I know we were both young. I know he probably didn't know what to say. But that moment stuck with me. It made me realize how hard it would be to talk about this, how lonely it would feel when people didn't know how to react or made light of something that had shattered my world. That night we ate supper at our uncle's house. We were too scared to even shower at home. The bathroom was too close to the bedroom, and just walking past the door felt like stepping into a nightmare. We showered at our uncle's and spent the night there, but there wasn't enough space for all of us. Eventually we had to go back to the house, back to where it had all happened. It was hard to sleep. I remember staring at the light for hours, unable to sleep, just trying to block out the overwhelming fear and the heaviness of it all. The next morning I had to go back to school. I'll never forget that feeling. It was like the world had hit play again, even though my life had stopped. I thought, the world goes on no matter what happens to me. And I realized, painfully, that most people would keep moving forward, whether I was okay or not. At school, I could feel the stares. I told myself I was imagining it, but deep down I knew I wasn't. Then I got called to the office over the intercom, something that had never happened to me before. I had always been the quiet kid, the one who stayed out of trouble, the one teachers barely noticed. At the office, a psychoeducator explained that one of my classmates had recognized me from the news. One of their parents worked in the school administration, So now a lot of people knew. Too many. From that moment, my anxiety grew roots. Every glance, every whisper, every second of silence I wondered, do they know? Are they judging me? I carried so much shame, even though none of it was my fault. I met with the psychoeducator a few more times. Each time it was humiliating to be called out of class, to feel every pair of eyes following me to the door. In the meetings, I didn't say much. When she asked how I was doing, I just said, I'm fine. I didn't have the words for anything deeper. Or maybe I just didn't trust that anyone could really understand. Eventually, she suggested I join the badminton team. One of my friends was already on it, and she thought it might help me feel less alone. I agreed, mostly because it gave me an excuse to stay away from the house a little longer. After that, I stopped seeing the psychoeducator. Looking back, those days felt like a never-ending cycle of confusion and numbness. I didn't have the answers, and I didn't have anyone who really understood what I was going through. It felt like I was just trying to survive each day, blending into the next with no real way out. I didn't suddenly become okay, and I didn't get better overnight. The pain and the shame stuck with me for a long time. Even now, some of those feelings linger. I don't have a neat conclusion to tie it all up, because there isn't one. Healing isn't a straight line, and for a long time I didn't even know how to begin. But one thing is for sure, I kept going even when I wasn't sure why. That's the reality. No magic answers, just the raw truth of getting through each day, as best as I could, even when it felt impossible, and that's still what it's like sometimes. It's just about getting through, piece by piece.